All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are off and going here on a Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. We have finally reached it. Week 1 of the NFL season is upon us. 2 nights away from the opening game of the 2023 season. We have Week 1 of college football and Badger football in the rearview mirror, heading full steam ahead with football. Baseball getting into the heat of the pennant race, as well as the, obviously, the playoffs coming up soon here as well. Let's get our talk out of the way right away. If you want to get a hold of the program, you could do that at Wisconsin_fam on Twitter. That's at Wisconsin_FAM. You can follow along on TikTok. Just search for us, Wisconsin_family. And then on YouTube, which houses the main podcast, youtube.com/@WisconsinFamily1. That's youtube.com/@WisconsinFamily, the number 1. So, we'll get to the Badgers in a moment. Week 1 of college football. Not the most eventful opening weekend. Was interesting to see Deion Sanders and his Colorado team get an upset win on the road. I don't really care to get into that any more than just to mention it, as it has absolutely nothing to do with Wisconsin sports. So I'll get to the Badgers here in a moment. But we are in a big week, and we've been waiting for it for a long time, right? Week 1 of the NFL season. Of course, the Chiefs and the Lions kick off Thursday Night Football 2 nights from tonight. Looking forward to that. And then, not only is it week 1 of the NFL season, it's Packers-Bears week as well. So, we're going to start to dive into a little bit of Packer-Bear talk here. At some point this week, my plan is to get somebody on who covers the Bears, be it a beat writer or a host of a radio show, maybe a podcast, we'll see. But that'll be the plan, to kind of get a view from the other side here as well. There's a couple of articles this morning in regards to the Packers talking about how the run game for the Bears is such a must-stop issue for the Green Bay Packer defense. Rasul Douglas really went into great detail about how important that is to stop the Bears' rushing attack. But you look at this, the Bears. I said this morning in one of my videos, and this is true. The Bears' offense, for the first time, maybe ever, at least certainly in my lifetime, as somebody who's grown up with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, this season is the first year that you look at the Bears and you say, they might have a better offense than the Green Bay Packers. Now, naturally, the Bears have always been very solid on defense. And that's, going back to the 80s, that's what they've been known for. And even in recent years, when the Bears have had good seasons, it's been a defense-first based approach, right? Always defense. And, Matt Forte and, some of the other running backs that they've had contribute. Not many quarterbacks to speak of. But, they get a little bit of extra contribution. But they're well known to be a defensive team, and that's where their success comes from. On the opposite side of that coin is the Green Bay Packers over the last 2 quarterbacks. But this year is the first time in at least my lifetime that it could be said that the Bears might have a better offense than the Packers. Now, of course, that remains to be seen. We haven't even played a game yet, so we need to watch that. But the Bears are led by Justin Fields, who they say is going to become a better passer, or who is a better passer. I mean, even if he's not, he's something to worry about for the Green Bay Packer defense, because can you remember the last time you felt confident in a Packer defense going up against a running quarterback? I think I'm scarred for life after watching some of these performances. And take it all the way back to Michael Vick in the playoffs at Lambeau Field. The Packers defense just historically gets bulldozed by running quarterbacks. So even if Fields isn't throwing better, he's still going to be a threat running. I mean, the guy had last year, he had over 1,100 yards rushing. And as Rasul Douglas said, there's a lot of running backs who don't even have that. And I joke, I kid sometimes, that the Bears don't have a quarterback. Their quarterback is a running back. Might be true, but he still does well against the Packers. So, I mean, half the battle, more than half the battle for the Packer defense is going to be stopping Justin Fields from running all over. He had a long run against them last year. But the run game in general for the Bears is going to be tough. You got Khalil Herbert, had like 5.2 yards per carry last year. I think it was number 2 amongst running backs. They acquired DJ Moore, so that's not run game, but that's going to add depth and a legit number 1 to their passing repertoire in an attempt to try to get Fields some extra help around him. But, the rivalry for the most part has been a one-sided affair for the Packers for the better part of 3 decades during the Favre and Rodgers tenure. And again, now we'll see who's got the better offense this year. Chapter 1 in the Bears-Packer rivalry for Jordan Love. How does he handle that on the road, first game, as a starter, as a full-time starter? Not his first start. But he is the guy now. And, it'd be great if he could continue that run of dominance. But the Packers have won 8 in a row. The Bears haven't won a game in this series since 2018. Packers' overall record against the Bears, 105, 95, and 6. 10 games over 500 with 6 ties in a rivalry that goes way back. So, it's a double exciting thing this week because you, number 1, have the opening week of the NFL season. And then add on to that, it's Bears-Packers week. And I am curious, let me know in the comments section below the video here. Let me know if the Bears are your biggest rival. And the reason I ask is this. I grew up in central Wisconsin. And always growing up, the biggest rival for me was the Vikings. Still is. I hate the Minnesota Vikings more than any sports team on this planet. But 7-8 years ago, I moved down to the Milwaukee area, and down here, the the Packers-Bears rivalry is much more intense than it is, I think, in other parts of the state. Now, that is probably because of the proximity of Milwaukee and Chicago being closer together, and you have more Bears fans up in the Milwaukee area than you do in central Wisconsin and other portions of the state. But anyways, I'm just curious to have your take on it. Let me know in the comment section, who is your biggest rival as a Green Bay Packer fan? Bears? Vikings? Lions? Cowboys? 49ers? Seahawks? Other? No wrong answer. Just curious to know. And speaking about the Brewers lose game 1 on Labor Day yesterday. Happy Labor Day, everyone. Hope you had a good cookout or whatever you may have done. Hopefully, those of you who had to work, it was all right day to work. I'm sorry you had to work. Been there, done that. Yeah. Anyway, happy Labor Day to everyone. Anyways, Brewers lose 4-2 at Pittsburgh. Well, Corbin Burns, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 4 earned runs. Now, I have to make sure that I evenly disperse any blame or reasoning for losing in this instance. Burns goes 6 innings, gives up 4 runs. As an ace, you would hope for better than that. As an ace down the stretch in a playoff run and a pennant chase, you would hope for better than that. It's not the end of the world. It wasn't like he just got blown up. So, thumbs on him. But the Brewer offense, again, 2 runs. William Contreras did get a hit. He's got a 14-game hitting streak. That's good. Andrew Monasterio had a 2-hit game. So that's all right. But, again, 2 runs put up on the board for the Brewers early on. And then they just they lose it as the game goes on. I think they will bounce back tonight. Brandon Woodruff on the mound. So I still feel confident that the Brewers are going to win 2 out of 3 games in this series. And then they go on the road at New York and play the Yankees, the last place New York Yankees. Maybe you pick up a sweep there. That would be good. Brewers 2.5-game lead over the Cubs right now. But I just wanted to say that loss last night for the Brewers, some of it is on Corbin Burns, because as an ace down the stretch with a team that your offense is struggling, got to be a little bit better than 6 innings, 4 earned runs. Again, it's not the worst, but capable of being better. And I'm sure it's just one of those things that will not continue on as the season goes. But hopefully a bounce back win with Woodruff tonight. You win today, win tomorrow afternoon, and you're just fine for the Milwaukee Brewers. Today's drink of the day, look at there, brisk iced tea, lemon. I've been thirsty all day. Hits the spot well enough. You can sponsor me, Brisk, if you want to. Or are we kidding? There's nobody out there listening anyway. I'm just doing this by myself. I'm talking to myself, but I'm not crazy. 8 and 9, I have that on my notes. I have no idea what that means. Anyway, let's talk Wisconsin Badger football, shall we? Just for a moment here, before we move on and start to wrap things up. Here's what I will say. Now, people were really on me on Twitter for being so negative. I'm so negative. Yeah, well, I mean, if you follow me, you're going to follow me for 2 days. You're going to figure that out. Here's what I will say. I was underwhelmed by the performance. Could be a multitude of factors as to why it didn't feel like the Badgers were living up to expectations. For me, the expectations may have been too high. Expectations may have been too high specifically for week. But it was underwhelming. I will say this. I'm not judging Luke Fickell or Tanner Mordecai based off of one game. I'm not making a full judgment on their life, on their career based off of one game. That would just be foolish to do. But what I am doing is reacting to one game. And folks, it's okay to do that. Because it's all we have. We don't have anything else. I'm just going based off what I saw for one game. And what I saw from one game is a team that's going to have to drastically improve before Big Ten play starts, or they're going to get bulldozed. Well, I'm not saying that they can't. And somebody on Twitter said, why do you think they can't improve? I don't know. I never said that. People get frustrated with me and then they make stuff up. I never said they can't. I never said they won't improve. And I'm not judging Luke Fickell to be a failure. I'm not saying, well, Luke Fickell, Tanner Mordecai, they're never going to win anything here in Wisconsin. I didn't say any of that. I'm making an observation based off of the one thing that we have, and that is this one game. And the clear observation, I'd like to hear somebody argue a counterpoint to it, is that they need to drastically improve their play before they start playing Big Ten play. Now again, so while they won, they blew them out. Well, they kind of did. It wasn't. You're playing Buffalo. This should have been a 30-plus point win. Yeah, but this is Luke Fickell's first game. Yeah, Deion Sanders' first game. He had a huge upset on the road against the team that went to the national championship last year. Well, it's a quarterback making his first start for the Badgers. Yeah, so what? You know how many freshmen I've seen come into big-time programs as an 18-year-old? They hit the ground running. Why can't Tanner Mordecai? He's got plenty of reps under his belt. Luke Fickell's not a first-year coach. College football, that doesn't hold up. NFL, yeah. NFL, we're going to be patient. Perhaps. We should be patient, I should say, with Jordan Love, first-year starter, NFL. But that's not how it works in college. Now, again, not judging Mordecai. I mean, I am in a way, but I'm not making a final judgment on Mordecai, and I'm not saying Luke Fickell's never going to win a game in Wisconsin, or he's never going to be any good. He's never going to accomplish anything. That's not what I'm saying. Just saying what I saw is not going to be good enough in the Big Ten. Now, they have plenty of time to turn that around, and based off of Fickell's past, no reason to think they can't do it. All I'm saying is it has to be better. And I think that's a simple and fair point to make. Now, the defense. Well, wait. Before I hit the defense, one thing that I think everyone could be in agreement on that was disappointing was the Badgers' pass game, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just pinned on Mordecai, but you listen during the offseason, listening during the pregame show on the radio. I lost count. Infinite amount of times that it was this offense is referred to as an air raid offense. I was not aware that air raid offense had throws continuously at like 4 yards or less. I mean, it wasn't even a dink and dunk offense. It was a dink offense. I mean, just throwing the most minuscule of routes. If they threw it downfield like one time and it got dropped, whatever, is neither here nor there. It's going to happen. So that kind of sloppiness makes sense of a first game. But the run game was good. Ches Malusi was good. Braylon Allen, both of them had a good game. I thought that the offensive line for the Badgers for the run game blocked better than they have the last couple of years. But I kept hearing this air raid offense. I didn't see anything of the sort. We'll see if that changes at all. On the positive side, before I hit the defense, on the positive side, we are making good progress here because, no doubt, again, this was Buffalo, and that's really where my frustration comes in, that it wasn't more of a give it to them type win, because it is Buffalo. I mean, who the hell is Buffalo? And you just couldn't put them away. I mean, they put them away, but you know what I'm saying. I just wanted to see them smash them. Smash them, because that's what you should do against such an inferior opponent. Be that as it may, we're making progress, because if Paul Chryst were still the head coach, the Badgers probably lose that game against Buffalo on Saturday. It's true. They probably do. Oh, I could definitely see that at Camp Randall. Oh, for sure. So we're making progress there. Defensively, the secondary was kind of messy in the first half. That seemed to get better as it went on. Not a whole lot of pass rush. No sacks for the Badger defense. And that could be an area, again, too, where you are somewhat in a rebuild mode without Jim Leonard. But at the same time, and again, to anyone who says, yeah, well, it was Fickell's first game with the Badgers. It was Tanner Mordecai's first game, and all these guys are trying to gel together. Okay, but I'll counter that with they're playing Buffalo. Buffalo. This wasn't Michigan. This wasn't Ohio State. They're playing Buffalo. You're playing Buffalo, and you're the Wisconsin Badgers. You should be able to roll the helmets out and knock the hell out of your opponent. Anyways, that was just my 2 cents on it. I'm not doubting. I'm not even doubting Mordecai. I'm not doubting Fickell. Too good of a history to do that. I'm just saying it needs to get better. Appreciate you listening here to the podcast today. Follow along with us, please. We'd appreciate that. Subscribe on YouTube. YouTube.com/@WisconsinFamily1. TikTok, you can search for us, Wisconsin_family. And then, of course, X. I called it Twitter earlier. Now I'm going to call it X. Follow along on X Wisconsin _ fam. That's Wisconsin _ FAM. I truly appreciate you guys giving us a listen here today, sticking with us. Talk some Packers, Brewers, Badgers. That's what we're here for to do for you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your day.